episode name.
Oh wait, no, I got this. Okay, this is Between Two Mammers, the best episode. One and only take. Yeah. Go.
Me? No, you.
No,
you, me.
I'm holding it.
You're holding it. You're
okay,
holding it.
well,
I'll do it.
well,
I'll
I
do it.
introduced it.
I'll do it now. Again. Get together. Get there. Oh.
So you're older. You should go first.
I am older, barely.
Well, no, you did MAMM first.
I did MAMM first.
I am like a fetus in comparison.
No,
so
you are a
you
fetus
should
in
go.
comparison.
You should go first, Grandpa. So.
All right, fine. I'm Kevin Ang, and I did MAMM way back in 2013.
I'm Harley Maranan, and I was the writer and director for Hail Mary in 2021 and Little Manila in 2022. For reference, I was not in Canada when he did MAMM.
I was barely in Canada when I did MAMM.
There we go.
I had first arrived here 2012, my first year doing 3D animation, and I was already bored. So.
So you did MAMM.
I did MAMM. No, actually, it's funny because what happened was I didn't know anyone. You know, I moved here alone. I had outside of the classmates that I had at school, I really didn't know anyone. So,
right.
But I really was also a person who loved film a lot, and I never went to the way I said film was I just watched a lot of movies. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, I had a classmate at the time who told me, hey, you know, you want to do this MAMM thing. I said, what the heck is MAMM? And then so he explained what MAMM was, and this is obviously, you know, Filipino godfather,
right.
Phil Panta, who was my classmate.
You legend.
Who was my classmate at 3D animation class. First year, he told me, like, you know, if you're bored, you know, just do this MAMM stuff.
Yeah.
And then so we just thought, okay, let's try to do a cool little self-contained horror short in the basement of his father-in-law's house.
Right.
And that's what we did. We got an old mask and we just kind of like ran with it.
Oh man. Okay. This is the creepiest place I've ever seen.
Something that's really comforting about MAMM, just the environment that they create, is it's so safe. I feel safe trying new things at MAMM, because like even with the films that I did, like I had never directed a comedy before, and then that was my very first MAMM, and it did well. And then I was like, okay, let me try drama. I haven't done drama in a while, and I did that the year after, and it was great. For you being able to just try horror, even though you were like, oh, I don't know, like
I've never directed a film.
Right. Oh, even better. Okay.
Because I had no idea what any of the terminologies. I didn't know how to direct actors. It's funny because I'm coming from an animation background, so you control every single thing that happens in frame. You know, every single blink that a character does, you control what time, what kind of blink, which eye goes first.
Right.
You control so much. You can't do that with an actor. Hey,
I need you to blink in 5 seconds, and then point 2 seconds.
Make sure the right eye goes first.
Yeah, 5
I can feel
degrees.
it.
Yeah.
So you know, the loss of control that you go to directing live action was something that's really big at the time. But I remember at the time some Pixar directors were starting to get their start into live action too. I was like, oh, they could do it, I could do it. No,
right.
Right.
So I originally came to Vancouver in 2018 to study film production at UBC. Back in the Philippines, as I was growing up, like I started making films since I was 9, but I didn't really have a film community back in the Philippines. Like it was literally just me as writer, director, cinematographer, script supervisor. Like the entire credits would just be by Harley Maranan. And so when I came to Vancouver to study film, I thought, wait, MAMM might actually be a great way to get my feet wet and try to make a film in Canada, get my start in the Canadian film industry. And so in 2021, that's when I wrote and directed Hail Mary, which was the first time I ever directed a comedy and the first time I directed ever in Canada. And it was also the first time I went from a crew of 1 to a crew of 20, and then like 5 actors that I'd never worked with before, like, and actually going through a complete casting call. So I'm so grateful for the opportunity that MAMM has afforded me, because it is this space to, even as a beginner, like to try new things and really take a dip into like the film industry.
Well, what did you direct before in the Philippines?
My very first short film in the Philippines, which actually did well in the student category abroad. But like the Hail Mary, the 2021, compared to that, completely different. Like,
well, it's because it's such a huge jump, right? In terms of like scope, in terms of like complexity and stuff like that.
Yeah, and also maturity too.
Yeah. So if you know such a huge jump from the smaller productions to Hail Mary, was the biggest thing that you really wanted? You were eager to kind of like, you know, get better at or learn or get from it? from that experience?
I think like the first one was like having a calling card film in Canada, because even though I had directed that film in 2017 in the Philippines, I still to this day can't show it to other people because I will like shrivel and die inside. And so that was like the biggest thing I was trying to prove. And then the other thing was I'd never fully directed a comedy. Like I'll do skits in little short sketches here and there, but I've never directed like a full comedy short film. So I was like, yeah, you know what? This is my first film. If it sucks, then I can just hide it in a little box and keep it away from light. But if it's good, then cool. Then I have my calling card film. And I'm glad that MAMM has that environment where, people from all different walks of life come in with their own stories that they want to tell in their own way.
Yeah.
And they cultivate that environment where it's okay to tell the story the way you want.
Bless us our Lord for these thy gifts, which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen.
It's funny because to me, I had the complete opposite in terms of like how that went along with me.
Really?
Because to me, my MAMM was a lot smaller, a lot simpler in scope.
Right.
But it's my first time directing. It's my first time ever, that experience, right? And it was a horror film, so it's my first time, trying to do all these things, and I was trying to I storyboard the whole thing, manage to do the shots, make it feel like impactful. If I could get people to enjoy an experience, I like this. I like sitting down in the cinema, watching people be afraid, jump at the right moments.
Right.
That's addicting. MAMM was an addiction. Started the addiction for me, right?
Oh my god.
Shut up, Connor.
Because I mean, that was very early. Yeah, that's a pretty early MAMM, and it's very early for your
Yeah.
career. So, like, what are some of the things that you took away that still stick from that first MAMM experience? Like, what are just some of the lessons you learned from that set that you still carry forward?
I think it's just learning to make choices.
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest. To me, there is more than one right way to make a film.
of course.
The film can live in so many different ways, and it's like, it's one of those things where the moment you step onto set and you have to start making a choice between A or B.
Right.
Either one could honestly work. You just have to make that choice.
Right.
And that's kind of like what MAMM forces you because of the time limit and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You go there, you can't think of anything else. You just have to finish this within the 3 days.
Yeah.
Make the choice, one choice after the other and after the other, because and you can never really be sure whether it's the right choice or the wrong choice.
Right. But you learn from that.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
it works or doesn't,
Yeah.
it is a point. It's a learning point.
So it's gaining that confidence really to be able to go up there and say, okay, that's what I want.
yeah.
I think that's what I want. I think, and then just go with it, right?
With that limitation, the 10 days, you're right. Like there is no time. Like a lot of people will see that as like a bit of a turnoff for something like this, but no, sometimes you really do. You should. I feel like everybody should try to put themselves with a bit of a limit or in like a bit of a challenge, because it does push you to become a better creator overall.
One foot in front of the other. That's all you're thinking about really when you're making a film. One foot in front of the other.
Right.
And once you're all done and once everything's done, you look back to see like how much you've actually traveled.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the mindset that you just have to put yourself into. And MAMM really helped initially to give me that kind of like first taste of what it takes to be able to get a film done.
Yeah,
right?
too. And what's also great too is that it's not just you. Like you're growing with your entire cast and crew. Because like when I was working on my set with Hail Marie, it was my first time to direct in Canada.
Yeah.
And it was my lead actor's first time being in a short film. And so, and like it was a couple of people's first times like doing their crew position. So it's so great because you might be a little nervous that you're stepping on into some foreign territory, but you're not alone. Like you're holding hands with all these great cast and crew members. Some of them their first time, some of them experience. Like, and it's great that you get to grow together. So you're not alone on that journey.
Yeah. The spider web of how that connects, right?
Yeah.
The first people that I met through MAMM.
Yeah.
And that kind of like connection spread throughout.
Yeah.
Like, this one introduced me to this one. Like probably half the people I know now in film are because of that first time I stepped out and started.
I'm the same way too. I feel like MAMM is kind of that seed to grow your network. Yeah. Because for me, it's like honestly, like it took a while, but that's how I eventually met you. Like if I hadn't done my film and talked to the Filipinos that also did MAMM, then I wouldn't have gone to the events and stuff that led me to meet somebody like you.
Exactly, yeah. So how did each one of your films kind of like, evolve you as a filmmaker to where you are now?
So when I was going to Hail Marie, I was nervous because, again, I was going from a crew of 1, me, to a crew of 20 to 30 people. And I was like, what am I going to do with all these people? What if they just end up standing around doing nothing? But what I realized is like, working with a team, it's such a privilege to work with a team, and like it is for like going through Hail Mary and going through prep, then production, and then even post. Like I think the biggest thing I learned is you really just got to trust your team. And when you do that, so much stress and so much weight is lifted off your shoulders that you're actually able to hone in on the thing you want to do. Actually doing MAMM was the first time I actually got to really hone in my craft as a director. And just learn to trust everybody. And then the same as when I did Little Manila the year after. More things kind of like were logistically difficult to plan out because it was a bigger scope of film and we just had more locations and all that stuff to deal with. That again was just another round of like trusting your producers and trusting the team around you to help carry your vision. So I feel like that's the thing, and I feel like on set I'm never really stressed because you just learn to trust the team.
Yeah.
Can I go see her? Yung kapatid ko, si Angel.
Mom? Sandali lang, Yaya, ha? Who's Angel? I don't know.
So kind of like looking back at your past experiences, would you do MAMM again now?
If I was fresh, I'd absolutely do it, MAMM, again now. Right now, I'm more excited about what other people are going to be doing. Right?
Of course.
I've done MAMM. You've done too.
Yeah, it's great.
But to me, what excites me every single time I come in is like, you meeting new talent. A lot of it is like going in and just excited about what people are doing. So I think that's kind of like what drives it forward year after year.
Right.
Is all these things that I come back this, I just want to see like all the amazing stuff that's being done. I want to help however way I can. That's probably
get the lay of the land.
Yeah, exactly.
See what other people are up to.
That's what excites me with MAMM moving forward, is what people are going to cook up to, what people are cooking up next.
Yeah, nice.
How about you?
Would I like
Mr. Two-timer?
Honestly, even though I've done it twice now, I still get people asking me, "Are you gonna do MAMM this year? Are you gonna do MAMM this year?" And I tell them the same thing, which is, if I have something I want to say, I know the door is open for me to tell it, and that MAMM is that platform that allows me to tell it. But maybe kind of like you, some years I just want to kick back, relax, and enjoy the show because the new talent that comes in is really refreshing. So I mean, like last year there were a few people from Toronto that came in, and it was nice seeing people from that side of Canada give their own, show their own stories.
Oh, I have so many friends who have great stories that I think would be perfect for MAMM, and then just telling just do it, go get in there, right?
Right. Hey, you entered MAMM back in 2013. So what's now? Like, what are you doing now? What's happening?
What's happening now?
Yeah.
I went through different other festivals as well. Got my network even bigger. You have your Run and Guns, your whatever else, and most recently that we've worked together.
Yeah, of course.
Now
of course.
I've just recently finished my first Crazy8s.
Nice.
Which you are composing, so you know this.
I am composing. That is true. That is very true.
Yeah.
And he wrote and directed it.
Yeah, I wrote and directed it. So that it's called Gone Abroad, which is also a very Asian-centric film, right? It touches onto a very personal story of mine, growing up in a Chinese Catholic school, and based off a personal experience that I had with my best friend at the time. Some very sensitive issues when it comes to that, but it is a great experience too. And I think a lot of that, going into this, like every single year that's gotten bigger, that I've gotten more comfortable. Like I said, my very first foray into this was MAMM. MAMM kind of like, started it all. So I think every single year it just kind of like got bigger and bigger. I got more comfortable in my skin, and now I'm just chill. I'm very zen. Whatever new project comes in, let's do this, let's push for this, let's pitch this. Yeah. There's a lot of confidence that you kind of get as you grow as a filmmaker, grow older, grow as a filmmaker.
Yes. Grow older too. Sure. Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I think looking back, it's been crazy because I didn't realize how impactful MAMM would be to my life. Because I did that film back in 2021. It was a lot of risk taking, and honestly, even at the premiere, I was like, I don't know if anyone's gonna like this movie. This might be bad, but it got a great reaction. And I think what's been so cool is that a lot of Filipinos came up to me and told me, like, I've never seen a short film like that. Yeah. Or like they're really, it was like, dude, I love Hail Mary. To this day, I still get sometimes non-filmmaker Filipinos go up to me and be like, oh, you did the Hail Mary thing in 2021. I'm like, how'd you know about that movie? Like, I didn't realize how far that film reached people. And I feel like it's just so touching because I'm able to connect with all these people I've never met before through the art form I love so much. So I think because of that, that's what, like, doing Hail Mary in 2021, it's what drove me to enter again in 2022. And just the experience of joining MAMM is still what fuels my passion for filmmaking. I'm not in it for the interviews or whatever. I'm in it because like the stories I want to tell are actually reaching people and actually matter to people. So, and that's what I want to continue doing. I'm trying to develop the next big short film or maybe even the feature that talks about my culture. And I just want to keep sharing that with people, with audiences that actually feel and resonate with those kinds of stories. Just want to I want to be another voice.
Yeah. I mean, I love both of your films so far, Hail Mary and
Thank you.
Manila. Great experience watching them both. What about Filipino cinema excites you the most?
We're just getting started. Because we're just getting, like, it's been around.
Yeah.
We have some great films from, like, in the golden age of Filipino cinema, like long ago in, like, mid-90s, like Lino Roca. But, like, this new generation where Filipinos are starting to be more present in the mainstream cinema space, like, the fact that we're really just getting started and people who are not Filipino are excited to see like this culture like emerge more and be more prominent.
I feel like our time in the spotlight is just around the corner.
Yes, more people. Let's get more people on.
Sige na, anong paghinihintay mo? Sabit na sa VAP.org.
Yeah, and be natural on when you want to leave, and 3, 2, 1, action.
Okay, natural.
Natural.
Get out of here.